Welcome to another video. So it's been probably about 3 weeks since I've done a video, so let's get into this one actually. This is All Saints Church, which is on Foxholes Road in Rochdale. I have been here before, but this time we're going to go inside. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about this church because it's more or less a time capsule, and when we go inside you'll see how preserved it is. So this church would have been a religious beacon at one point for the masses, really, as they came to worship, and obviously it would have been used, I think, at one point for community events also. Now, I think this closed in 2007 or 2017, I can't remember which, but I'm sure it's 2007 because it's been closed for a while. But this opened in 1856, so and this isn't one of the oldest churches in Rochdale, the one near the Flying Horses. St Chad's, it's called that one. But either way, this church really served its purpose throughout time. This, for me, is part of Rochdale's history, and a lot of people forget about Rochdale's history. But as you can see here, there must have been tombs at one point, so I think there's vaults underneath the floor where people have been put in, like tombs, if that makes sense, and bricked up. So I'm just going to show you a little bit of history of All Saints Church, and then we'll get into the video. So let's get into the video. So this picture was taken in 1966, and obviously you can see it's floodlit. Now, there's no way that I would ever thought this church would have been floodlit, and you can see the presentation on the church as you approach. It's just not like that now, not like in the opening video I just showed you. So I wanted to show you how it's been left. And then I want to show you what it looked like inside, the last pictures of what this church actually looked like before it closed. So how it's been so preserved inside is beyond me. I can't explain it at all because there was a church in I worked in long ago, St John's, and it was absolutely destroyed. So to my knowledge, this is the last picture ever taken inside this church, which would have been, we'll say it's 2007. Yeah, because I'm not convinced it's 2017. I think it's been closed longer than that. But this church, either way, was opened in 1856. And I would have thought it would have been the same outcome as St John's, which is in Small Bridge. Religion just declined, and obviously numbers declined, and there would have been less money, and it would have been more difficult to maintain the church. So this is another picture of All Saints Church that I just thought I'd pop in my video. Obviously it took 3 years to build, 1863 to 1866, and it goes on to say the stones were laid by Mr. J. Entwistle, if I've got that right. Hence Entwistle Road. I think that's obviously where the name Entwistle Road comes from. If you're from Rochdale, you know Entwistle Road. So it says obviously the spire goes up to 133 feet and its capacity was 650 people. And then this article goes on to talk about the architecture, really, the building. I'd rather not talk about the architecture and just get into the video, to be honest. So enough of me doing a voiceover. There's no wind. So let's crack into this historic video that I don't think many people will get to see on any other channels. So let's get into it. Look how preserved this is. Does this take you? That was a spiral staircase, isn't there? Huh? If you're on this frequency, you can give me a sign if you want.
Get.
This is where you come in. Look how preserved it is.
Because I tend to agree.
Tend to agree, yeah. No. 1980. There's a piano, look. I don't want to fucking fall down there.
Round, yeah.
Plays a tune. It don't even work. Look how preserved this is from St. John's.
A heart. Yeah. Tomorrow.
Never mind, get it?
Look at the beauty on this stainless glass. It's absolutely brilliant. This is probably the only evidence of any wastage, really. So I've always wanted to come into this church. What's that say? Sick. Who's sick? Does it work? It does as well. Sorry, I had to do that. There's not even any dust. Hunger. To waste this, because look at the condition, and it's just been abandoned. Alright, it's time to go. So this hidden time capsule of Rochdale was absolutely fantastic, to be honest. There's not much is known about this church. It's obviously a Grade 2 listed building, but when I tried to find much research on it, there's not many pictures. There's not much of a story really behind this church. So obviously the only information that I know on this church is what I told you at the beginning. So I don't know if this church is up for sale, but it is probably one of the most well-preserved churches I've ever been in, to be honest. And this could easily reopen with the right investment. But, you know, it could be used for other things as well. I've seen these churches turned into apartments. And when you look at the stainless steel glass like this, it's absolutely amazing, to be honest. The time and effort put into this kind of work is absolutely remarkable. But so is the building itself and its story. But now, obviously, sadly, it just lies forgotten and abandoned, really. I'd say the grounds need work doing, but, you know, that's just my opinion. But inside, there's not much work that needs doing, really. It wouldn't cost that much to get this church up and running, if you ask me. There's not much investment needed, really. So, like I say, I don't know if this is up for sale, if it's not up for sale, but if it is, I could definitely say that this is very well preserved and probably well worth the money. But equally, this is part of Rochdale's history, and I always like to share this to my viewers.